Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, November 20th, 2018. I am Investor Bowens with the details. A new desalination plant has been installed on Beckway and will be of benefit to some 1,000 residents. Potable water from the desalination plant was distributed to the first batch of residents in the Broadway community over the weekend. As we hear in this report from Larissa Pugsley, the residents who now have access to pipe-borne water in their homes for the first time expressed gratitude for the initiative.
Pipelines were installed over the weekend in homes and several facilities in the Broad Road community of Beckway for residents to receive water from a new desalination plant. The project was undertaken by the Central Water and Sewerage Authority, supervised by Deputy Director of the Grenadines Affairs, Herman Belmar. Belmar told SVG-TV News that the Broad Road community was in dire need of potable water.
Decided to put it in this community here that is called Broad Road because it's one of the most vulnerable communities on the island for water sustainability. It's very steep hillside, very small spaces around the houses, so not enough adequate space to construct water tanks, and the cost and labor-intense program to get cement and stone and even concrete blocks up that hill to do construction for water tanks is very, very, very difficult.
He said the desalination plant will provide 20,000 gallons of water to 1,000 households per day. There is a 4,500-gallon water tank in the Paget Farm Fisheries Building and a 60,000-gallon tank installed at the top of the hill in Broad Road. Belmar explained that the cost of the water should not affect the pockets of residents.
The price is reduced considerably because the project was done with a green component, in that we should be generating up to between 70 to 75 kilowatts of energy from photovoltaic. And down at the airport terminal building, we have 330 panels that are generating this energy to run the plant. So while we're extracting energy from the grid, here at the desal plant, we are putting a minimum of about 70 kilowatts into the grid down at the airport on a daily basis.
SVG-TV News spoke with some residents who said they are grateful to have potable water coming through their pipes in their homes for the first time.
It's a good gesture because when we have a season, sometimes it will be a long drought, and it does be very hard because sometimes you may beg your neighbor for a bottle or two to drink, but you have to cook from that. If you have any, you have to bathe from that. You cannot wash from that. Okay, done. So yeah, and I take the opportunity. I grab the opportunity because it's very useful to me.
Well, things is hard when dry weather. Real hard when dry weather time. And you have to suffer with dry water. Yeah, for the time I'm glad. Yeah. So when the rainy time, right? When you see the rainy time, we ain't gonna worry with that today. That move for wash with. And the tank one is use your drinking and cooking. Yeah.
The desalination plant extracts water from the sea, and 60% of the water extracted becomes potable water. 40% of the impure water goes back into the ocean through pipelines. Belmar said that by mid-2019, Port Elizabeth should have a desalination plant as well, with the hope of linking the two systems so as to have Beckway become self-sufficient with potable water. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Larissa Pugsley.
Improper solid waste disposal creates health and other problems in communities, and as such, the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority will engage in a cleanup campaign aimed at addressing the issue. Communication and Public Education Officer, the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Twani Barrow, tells SVG-TV News that officers will be on the ground in the community of Layu on the leeward side of the island to sensitize the residents about the harmful effects of improper solid waste disposal on the terrestrial and marine environment and to their own health. She said as part of the cleanup campaign, they will be targeting beachfronts and river areas.
And when we talk about the solid waste pollution, we're talking in terms of the man-made waste that consists of plastic litter, being discarded in the environment, and are often found in like areas on the coastline or floating in the rivers and so forth. So what we hope tomorrow is to go house to house and to engage with the members of the community on the issue that we're having, and to highlight the impacts. And we know that Leyu is a fishing community, and this solid waste pollution also affects the marine environment, and ultimately it affects our health. So this is the message that we are bringing to them, and we're hoping that we can highlight some of the bad practices, and we're going to promote healthier, more sustainable solutions, more sustainable practices, so that we can reduce the amount of litter on our environment.
Barra said it is their hope that tomorrow's cleanup and public education campaign in Leyu will inspire residents of other communities to get on board with the campaign.
And we just hope that the members of the Leyu community, they will appreciate the message that we are bringing, and we hope that when we leave, that their perspective on the littering, on the solid waste litter, that their perspective will change, and that they will have a sense of value, that they will value their environment a little bit more. And we hope that when we leave, that this can also spark interest in other community. Hopefully other agencies within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they can start their own campaign to kind of fight the pollution issues that we are having in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I just want the Leyu community and the general public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to remember that a healthy environment means a healthy you. So let's do our part to reduce the amount of litter within our environment, so that our lives, that we can live longer, and this is something for our future and our future generation.
Quality childhood education plays a critical role in the development of a child. That's the view of Deputy Chief Education Officer Elizabeth Walker in her address at a national sensitization workshop held with stakeholders at French's House on Monday. The workshop, which focused on the Caribbean Early Childhood Development Good Practice Guide, was facilitated by UNICEF consultants. The participants were drawn from the Ministry of Education, who will assist in the design of a framework for SVG's early childhood program.
As 90% of a child's brain development occurs in the first 5 years of their life, making it a critical window for early education, as they develop new skills and explore new learning opportunities.
8 areas on early childhood education were discussed at Monday's workshop, which include teacher training, curriculum delivery, regulations, stimulation of children, early intervention to child development, and parents' engagement. Walker noted the many interventions made by the ministry as it regards early childhood education.
Early childhood care, and I emphasize quality early childhood care and pre-primary education. Hence the vision of the Ministry of Education et al., and by extension the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is to provide access and quality primary, pre-primary education to all children. This is manifested in subventions. We have feeding programs and building and upgrading of centers, and continuous training to improve teaching and learning.
The Caribbean Early Childhood Good Practice Guide is designed to assist policymakers, planners, officers, and practitioners in the field to design and deliver good quality care learning experiences for children in their respective countries. A follow-up meeting will be held in SVG to further discuss the early childhood education policy document. Recipients of this year's academic bursary by the government of Taiwan have been encouraged to show their appreciation for the gesture by working hard in their academic pursuits. Principal of the Georgetown Secondary School, Ronald Mark, made the appeal at the 5th bursary handing over ceremony at the Georgetown Secondary School on Monday. Over 900 disadvantaged students from the primary, secondary and tertiary levels will benefit from the financial assistance this year. Clark said the contributions of Taiwan in the area of education is well known and appealed to the students to make the investment worthwhile.
That over the years that they have been very instrumental in helping us in our educational needs. And so this evening, as I welcome you, I want to take this opportunity to encourage you parents and you students who are receiving this evening to ensure that you make maximum use of the monies that you'll be receiving, and that you, at the end of it, that you would be able to see something and feel that it might not be $100,000, but whatever little it was, it has gone a long way. Little is much when God is in it. So I want to encourage you to use the money wisely, seek direction, seek guidance when the need arises, but ensure that our brothers and our sisters in Taiwan who have been contributing to our development every year, that we do so and that we return thanks to them also.
First Secretary at the Embassy of the Republic of China on Taiwan, Helen Chen, also encouraged the students to work hard.
Our government also provides short-term training programs, including vocational training, nursing, agricultural development, and mentoring for people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, dear young students, I'm here to encourage work hard in your studies. I believe everyone could reach their potential through education and change their lives. And I do believe one day you will contribute your expertise not only here to your country, but also the whole world. I would like to congratulate our young scholarship recipients again and wish everyone here all the best. Thank you.
Another batch of students at the Barley Technical Institute, BARTEC, has successfully completed the Youth Business and Entrepreneurial Training, UBET, offered by the Center for Enterprise Development, Inc., the CED, as part of its Youth Empowerment Program. A news release from CED stated that the November 12 to 15 UBET seminar exposed 32 BARTEC students to entrepreneurial and business education as a means of encouraging them to seek alternative avenues for employment creation and income generation. The UBET seminar was presented by business consultant Marilyn Richards. CED training coordinator Keisha Phillips, in her closing remarks, expressed satisfaction with the level of participation and urged the students to continue to develop their knowledge about business and entrepreneurship. In November 2017, 43 students of BARTEC participated in the CED Youth Program, and several of them continue to receive business counseling from CED's technical team to develop their ideas into viable businesses. Under the theme, Get Up and Get Everyone Tested, the SVG HIV and AIDS unit will continue with its efforts to encourage persons to get tested and know their status. The unit will this week embark on a massive testing campaign as part of activities leading up to World AIDS Day, which will be observed globally on December 1st. The activities will be launched tomorrow at the French's House. Assistant to the Director of the HIV/AIDS unit, Azonia Van Loo Morris, said this year the unit will be partnering with various stakeholders to sensitize the public on the need to get tested.
One of the biggest things that we're going to be having this year is a testing drive that we're going to be doing. That's in conjunction with the Red Cross Society here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we're going to be offering testing on November 30th up at the Red Cross. I know it may sound a little out of the way, but a lot of the times what the problem is finding a centralized location in town that offers confidentiality for testing, because confidentiality is of utmost importance to the National AIDS Secretariat and people who do testing. So there's need for confidentiality, and there's need for us to, you know, give people that confidence in us and in our testing system. So it's going to be at Red Cross. We're also going to be having some outreach with Massy stores. They've partnered with us, so we're going to be having some booths in Massy stores offering some information, you know, our regular condom distribution and demonstrations, and that's going to be happening from the 26th, the 27th and the 28th. And we're also going to be having our social media and regular media campaigns. So we're going to be on radio stations, we're going to be on television, you know, just making people aware of this year's activities and this year's themes and the importance of getting tested.
Van Loo Morris assured the public that the testing procedure is simple and confidential. She said it is done in 2 phases, with the first being a pre-testing period where the person is sensitized on the process.
To do pre-test counseling. So that is where we sit with our clients, we speak to them about HIV testing, ask them why they're getting tested, ensure that they understand what the test procedure is like, and we also ensure that they understand the results that are going to come out from the test. So when you do rapid testing, you have negative or positive results. So you can have either of those results, and we explain all of that to our clients in the pre-test phase.
Van Loo Morris also took the opportunity to explain to our news team the actual testing phase.
What we do is that we would take some blood from their finger. It's not from the vein, it's from your finger, and we're going to place it on a testing strip, and we set the time of 15 minutes and start that. Now during that time when we're doing the test, we're going to ask some questions, and those questions are entered into our computer-based monitoring and evaluation system, and that's basically to help us assess some of your risk factors and see what your risk is of being exposed to HIV. Okay? When the test result is ready, we write up the test result on an official HIV test result paper, and we give that result back to the client. The client is then given post-test counseling, and they're given the result with that counseling. So they understand the result, and they understand how to keep their result and what steps they have to take after that. So this process is very simple. So when you come to get tested, it's about 15 to 20 minutes, it depends, and you know, we take you through all of those steps for the rapid HIV testing.
2 local entertainers, Kamara Kido Foster and Abedi DJ Beds 5000, who are on board with the unit's campaign this year, share their impression about the rapid test.
So taking the HIV test, this time around it was like a walk in the park. I was more comfortable than in previous years, and I'm encouraging everyone out there who's thinking of getting tested to come to the National HIV Secretariat. You know, get yourself tested. A very simple process.
Well, simple, easy, just one little trick, and you know, it's that status in 15 minutes. Okay. Come on. So everybody, come out, get tested, know your status. It's only right.
The assistant to the director of the HIV/AIDS unit, Azonia Van Loo Morris, said the services they provide are available to all regardless of sexual orientation. She was responding to a presentation by senior policy analyst at the Canadian HIV/AIDS local network, Maurice Tomlinson, at the Marion House last Friday, in which he noted that statistics have shown that men who have sex with men have a particularly high rate of infection due to anti-sodomy laws and homophobia. Tomlinson said those factors prevent such individuals from accessing testing and counseling services. Van Loo Morris, however, gave the assurance that the SVG HIV/AIDS unit provides services to everyone with confidentiality in mind.
Yes, so for that category of persons, men who have sex with men, they can access testing at the HIV/AIDS unit along with any other testing site that does HIV testing. They can also be tested at the Planned Parenthood, and there is a non-governmental organization known as VINCICHAP. They also offer testing, and that testing is offered in particular to what we call key populations, and those key populations include men who have sex with men. So that information is out there for you to know, and you know, it's free and we counsel. There's no judgment. We take the information and we just assess you on the risk factors. That's what we test and that's what we assess on. So that's the importance, and it's important for everybody to get tested. Testing is very important. You need to know your status so you can know what steps next that you need to take.
A new council has been elected to serve the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Chamber of Industry and Commerce at its 88th annual general meeting on Monday. The council executive will be led by Philippa Grace as president, Peter Van Werven as senior vice president, and Andrew Woodruff, finance and administration vice president. The other council members are Christine De Silva, Roxanne Williams, Annette Mark, Rachel Hassler, Maurice Franklin, Dennis Games, Harry Gibson, and Jules Ferdinand. Country manager of Flo Wayne Hull is the council's immediate past president. The Crime Prevention Unit of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has commenced its awareness activities on how persons can be safe for the Christmas season. The crime prevention program is being held under the theme, Be Involved, Stay Informed, Make a Difference. Sergeant Brian Archibald of the Crime Prevention Unit said that all must get involved if they are to prevent crime in SVG.
For themselves, their children, and for visitors alike. And to use those information to make St. Vincent a better place for the season, and not only for the season, but beyond. The message in this team is here to stay. We want people to really make a difference in the lives of themselves and Vincentian and this world of ours. We want them to have a peaceful life and a happy life.
The Crime Prevention Unit will be holding its annual exhibition on the 21st December outside the Central Police Station from 9 a.m. Whistle stops are also planned for Kingston and neighboring communities. Sergeant Archibald shared some crime prevention tips that everybody should take note of.
To, maybe leave a radio or a television playing at home so that person may believe that someone is at home in the house. We also give tips of persons that while you're out to avoid being robbed of your valuables like your chain and so on. To avoid wearing bulky looking chain around this time. Maybe it's not that prevalent, but it can happen. Person might just pull your chain and run. It is stolen, it's gone. You have to retrieve that. We ask persons to, avoid carrying lump sum of cash. And for females who are carrying their cash in bags, to carry it a particular way, where they would tuck their bag under their arm with the zip towards the front. So you know it is closed, and what your contents is secured on the inside. We have also other departments who will be coming in to talk about persons doing transaction with them and how to avoid identity theft and so on. And we're hoping this year again, not hoping, it is always possible. And it is always there. And we always want to spread the message of persons using things like counterfeit cash around this time. Persons will be on hand this time to deal with that. Informing you as to the features, what to look for, what not to look for, and what to pay attention to, and to avoid persons spending counterfeit cash at your counter.
An investigation is being conducted into a report of burglary at the St. Joseph's Convent, Maracor, between April and November 19th this year. The police say preliminary investigations reveal that some unknown person or persons entered the secondary school as trespassers and stole 78 Acer laptops, the property of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The police is soliciting the assistance of the public to provide information that can aid with their investigation. Persons with information are asked to contact the ACP in charge of crime at 1784-456-1339 or officer in charge, the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, at 1784-456-1810, or the Mesopotamia Police Station at 1784-485-5229, or any police officer.